Today we're going to be reacting to the unwritten rules of Overwatch by the Watch Over, I believe, the creator here. I think I know a lot about Overwatch, enough to know almost. I think I know a lot of these unwritten rules. Granted, I am more of a modern Overwatch 2 player. I never played Overwatch 1, so I'm not sure if some of these are specific, but nonetheless, I'm pretty sure I know a lot of these unwritten rules, so we'll see. We'll see
The Overwatch
which ones
community
I
has
don't know.
developed some unwritten rules we all follow without even realizing it. In today's video, we'll uncover the unwritten rules of Overwatch. I'll explain each of them, and I'll give a unique punishment for each rule should you decide to break it. Starting us off with one of the most common unwritten rules that pretty much everyone knows about. You have to break the railings around the map while waiting for the match to start. This is something nearly
Yeah,
every Overwatch
that's very
player
true.
does, and it's almost by instinct. These railings can stop your movement or block your shots, so breaking
Although I wouldn't recommend, me personally, I wouldn't recommend destroying all of them, but I would definitely destroy most of them.
them is an important part of getting ready for a match. As soon as players realized you could break them, it became law. If you don't help your
Pretty
team break
much.
these, you should be forced to go around to every map and break all of the railings before you can queue again. While some rules might be on the sillier side, our second unwritten rule can win you games. Unwritten rule 2 is to stagger the baby diva. This one is seen more often in higher ranked games, but people still follow it even in silver. Anytime the last enemy alive is one of the more defenseless heroes like a baby diva or Mercy, you want to wait as long as possible to kill them. This makes them respawn later, which means that when your team
Interesting.
takes
I
longer to regroup,
actually didn't know that, or I didn't know that could. I didn't even think about that possibility. Huh. Well, there's already one unwritten rule I don't know.
which means free time off the
But
clock. But with the new group respawn system, I'm
that's
not
a
sure
good
how
tip. No
effective
cap.
staggering is anymore.
Pause.
Either way, if you don't stagger the baby diva, I sentence you to 100 diva mech squishing. It's always nice to help others, and unwritten rule number 3 is all about helping someone else. Always help your Mercy get back from spawn. You can get in the Mercy's line of sight so she can guardian angel to you, allowing her to get back to the fight faster. This is called a taxi, and if you do it, you just might earn yourself a pocket. The same goes for Kiri. It's especially important if you're playing a more mobile character like Diva, Genji, or Tracer because you have the mobility to pick up the Mercy quickly. If you don't taxi the Mercy, I hereby sentence you to 50 games without a pocket.
Yes! Bro, I play Mercy the most out of really all the supports. Bro, you know how many people don't do this? A lot of people don't do this. And I'm the Mercy. Like when there's a Mercy on my team, I make sure that Mercy is with us. So, if I got to taxi them, like I do that. Because I care about my Mercy. And you should too.
Okay, maybe this one is kinda written like in the Blizzard TOS, but unwritten rule 4 is don't be toxic. Overwatch is a really hard game and requires you to know a lot of stuff to be really good at it. We all have bad games and bad days, but you shouldn't take your frustration out on other people or chastise them for poor performance. Be kind and be gentle. Enough of the world is mean and rough. If you want
I don't know. Some people, I don't know. I feel like some people kind of deserve to like, you know. I don't want to say deserve, but like some people kind of need a need a reality check. Cause sometimes people will act like they're the greatest player, and they're the ones who have the worst stats in the game. So I don't know. I don't know if I would agree with this 100%. Definitely, I would say be nice more than be mean. I wouldn't recommend to be mean to anybody. Um, but if there is somebody who is being toxic, then why not reflect some of that toxicity to them? You know what I'm saying? They did, they asked for it. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. I don't know if I would agree 100% on this.
to banter, keep it lighthearted, not full on toxic. A little trash talk is fun, and it is a competitive game, but if you legit break this rule though, Blizzard will do the punishing for me. There's probably people new to Overwatch who don't even know what this means, but unwritten rule number 5 is that you have to call out a C9 when it happens. The same goes for a Lucio who gets interrupted during his ult, you gotta hit him with the Ajax. There's also the AKM blade. This one is kinda old, and I don't see it anymore, but that's probably because no one plays Genji now. My poor green cyborg ninja dude, he feels so bad to play. I can't keep talking about this or this video will turn into a Genji memorial. If you fail to call out the C9, you'll C9 your next game. Okay, I know we were just talking about not being toxic, but is teabagging really toxicity? I don't think so, and that's why you should always teabag
It
the
is.
Sombra when you kill her. Who does she think she is, running around all invisible and sneaky like? If you're a Sombra player, you play an evil character, and you always have the element of surprise. If you lose a duel, you deserve a little bit of trolling. If you fail to teabag the Sombra, I hereby sentence you to getting hacked off gold.
No. Okay, one, teabagging is toxic. I don't care what anybody says. It is toxic. There's no reason why you should be doing that unless there has been some bantering back and forth. Then it's appropriate to teabag. Or if it's like if somebody has been targeting you the whole game and you kill them, then yeah, it's acceptable to teabag. Which, as a Sombra player myself, I do target a lot of people, in specifically widows and Anas, Zen, Zen players. A lot of the not so very mobile heroes, I do tend to target them. So, I have had some people, teabag me, but it's like it's kind of well deserved, because it's like I'm targeting them. So it's like I'm self-aware when it comes to that stuff, so I don't really get too bothered if I get teabagged because it's like I know what I'm doing, so But in general, I don't think teabagging is or I think teabagging is toxic, but it's kind of just like a more competitive type of toxic. It's not necessarily like, throwing insults at somebody. So I feel like so teabagging is toxic, but I find it okay myself. And yes, I am also a Sombra main, and I know I do play an evil character.
Down in your
You
next
can
game.
never
Look, I
escape
know that's
the
pretty
invisible
harsh, but
Mexican.
the watchover is a tough on crime judge, okay? Overwatch has 3 roles, and there's this nifty feature where you can queue for all of them. But real Overwatch players know Unwritten Rule 7 is that queuing for all means queuing for tank. Players go down 2 paths after queuing for
True.
all several games in a row. They either become true heroes and take on the ultimate responsibility, only queuing from tank then on, or they become cowards, afraid of the weight of the world, and they stop queuing for all roles. They only
Yep.
queue for DPS and support, and my queues get even shorter. So thanks for that. If you queue for all and don't get tank, there's no punishment here, just enjoy the moment. Just like I hope you're
True.
enjoying this moment as you watch this video. If you are, I would really appreciate it if you would subscribe. My dream is to become a full-time content creator, and with your help, I
Subscribe
can
to
make that
him.
happen. Let's see if we can hit
Shout
30K
out.
by the end of November.
Shout
Back
out to the
more Unwritten
watchover.
rules. Overwatch is a game that can be hyper-optimized. The best comp, the best position, the best aim, the best cooldown usage, and Unwritten Rule 8 is another way you can hyper-optimize your play. When you're playing push and the game has gone into overtime, don't push the bot. The farther you push it, the closer it is to the enemy spawn. The closer
True.
the bot is to their spawn, the easier it is for them to get back before OT ends. If you mess this up, you might just be handing the enemy team a free win. If you break this
Yeah.
rule, you'll lose your next 3 push games. Unwritten Rule 9 is one I've been
That's very true.
following pretty religiously on this channel. Don't talk about the 6v6 debate. We're all about positivity here on the
Lamau.
watchover, and man, does this argument bring out the worst in people. No, I'm not saying people don't have great in-depth discussions about the merits of each format, but I think I speak for a lot of the community when I say we're just trying to chill. If you bring up the format debate unprompted, you'll be forced to play 7 games of Paladins. Speaking of crimes,
Okay, first of all, the Paladin stray, really? Paladin is not bad. I like Paladins, I really do. Um, Obviously, I would prefer Overwatch, but Paladin is it's not a bad game. Come on. But the 6v6 debate, I was not around during Overwatch 1, so obviously I can't really have an opinion on it. But they did come out with the game mode of 6v6, the classic Overwatch Classic, right now, and I played one game, never again. Yeah, I prefer the 5v5 format, to be honest. I don't know. I just don't really like the idea of 2 tanks. I really don't.
Unwritten Rule 10 is one of the biggest crimes you can commit in a game of Overwatch. Breaking it has lost everyone watching this video countless games. You cannot ult at the same time as everyone else on your team. I think the term
True.
ult economy has kind of disappeared from the Overwatch lexicon.
True.
I never hear anyone
True. If I see that my teammates are ulting, I don't. I just hold on to mine. Except for moments where we could possibly win the game, then I try to combo my ult within another one of my teammates' ults. But for the most part, I kind of try to either combo it with one of my other teammates, or if like 2 or 3 of my teammates are using their ult, I normally hold on to mine. So, yeah.
We
I
don't talk
agree.
about it anymore, and it's like every other game that 3 to 5 ults get used in one fight. You gotta use them sparingly, guys. That way you always have some to win the next fight. If you break
True.
this rule, I hereby sentence you to 100 push-ups. You have to learn to be sweatier. Speak
All right, bro. Does this guy think he's like the law or something? After every single unwritten rule, he's like, if you don't do it, I sentence you to like. Is he my judge? Like,
Speaking of old,
playing.
unwritten rule 11 is don't play mystery heroes in quick or competitive play. Well, what do I mean by that? I see this stuff happen all the time. Your team loses the fight and then someone goes Junkrat. But then they die, so then they try Soldier. But you lose that fight, so they go Mei. And then that doesn't work, and before you know it, it's been 15 minutes and they've never once built an ultimate. Listen, before you swap,
Crazy.
really think about who you should swap to and what advantages you're gaining by doing so, and what advantages you might be losing by swapping. Then you won't play mystery heroes in my comp games and never build an ult. Thanks. If you break this rule, you'll be forced to swap off your favorite hero
I
for the
never
next
play
15
mystery
games.
heroes.
We've been
So.
talking about some more serious unwritten rules, so let's move back to the sillier side of things. Unwritten rule 12 is that if you get play of the game, you gotta flex the spray. Oh, and an emote too if you can. It's just a core part of what makes Overwatch.
True. Now the thing is, it's hard to know if you get play of the game because sometimes I would think I get play of the game, I get like a triple kill or something like that, but then the play of the game is just some other player just killing two people, doing certain stuff. I feel like there are some things that take a priority when it comes to play of the game. Like when it comes to getting play of the game, like some stuff gets more attention than others. Like for example, environmental kills might be better than getting like just a straight triple kill. So it's weird how that works. But I've had it to where I get good plays and I try to do like the flex the spray thing, and I don't get play of the game. But you know, normally if I think I do, I normally either do the spray or I just do the high, I guess.
To Overwatch. A play of the game with no spray is like a donut with no sprinkles, a sundae with no cherry on top. If you break this rule, you won't get play. Wait, actually, you'll get that stupid Sombra play of the game where you think you've got it and then she sneaks up on
Yeah,
you.
I
Yeah,
love that.
5 times in a row. Listen, I
I
swear
love
that
it.
Unwritten Rule 13 is real. One of your emotes has to be Panipipiti. If you haven't heard this before, I
What?
promise it's a real thing. You can show other people you're a watchover enjoyer by showing them your Panipipiti. It'll be like our little code. A
Yeah,
secret
nah, I don't know
underground
about that.
Panipipiti empire, if you will. No punishment for this one, you're just not a part of the cool kids club. Oh man, Unwritten Rule 14
I don't know
is
about
so
that.
important. I wish with all of my little tank heart that you guys would follow it more often. Unwritten Rule 14 is to shoot the turrets for your tank. When I'm walking through the choke as Ryan, blocking
Yes.
a brilliant damage from the front while getting some laser hair removal on my back from the sim turrets behind me,
Yeah.
please be a deer and shoot those things for me. You can't
Yes.
stop a literal nuke from incinerating you and kill some little zappy boys at the same time. If you fail to shoot the turrets for your tank, you'll have to suffer 100 years of being fried by sim.
Bro, when I used to play tank, when I used to main tank, bro, this was hell. I would be the one who has to kill these freaking small turrets or has to destroy the Torbjorn's turret thing. Like, bro, people are just so unaware. Now, granted, it is maybe in either lower rank comps or just in casual games that they don't know about this, but bro, I've played with a lot of stupid players that are not aware of anything.
Turrets in the afterlife. Keeping on the disgusting, terrible topic of turrets, Unwritten Rule 15 is to always kill the Torb turret first. It's like a free sixth
Oh
player
yeah,
on the enemy team, and the
yeah.
longer you leave it up, the more pressure it's going to put on your team. Always destroy it first if you can, and if you don't, a sneaky Torb turret will kill you when you walk out of spawn in your next 3 games. Unwritten Rule
Yep.
16 is one of my favorites. It's be a little evil. Overwatch is a game with a lot of room to be just a little bit evil. You can ice wall your team and spawn at the start of the game for like half a second. You can boot people off the map. You can spawn camp. You can trap people in corners during Winston's ult or Orisa's spinny spear. You can stagger people, cancel their ults, hack flyers over pits, hook people off the map. I mean, the list of things that you can do in Overwatch that are
Yeah, I definitely agree with this. Like I do some of these things, especially as Sombra. I do spawn camp, as evil as that is. I do definitely spawn camp, which is yeah. I also when it comes to like the May wall, I don't May wall my own team, but the enemy team, which you might think that's not really that evil because I mean it's against the enemy team, but sometimes I'll intentionally block off like an area. That way, if they were to come to us, they need to go through another route, and then they'll just get obliterated. So there's that. And then He also said like to boop off or to hook. I used to play a lot of Roadhog, and it would be so satisfying to hook people off the edge. But
Just a little evil is really long.
but
Stay
yeah.
evil, but only a little bit. And if you don't, you'll get teabagged every time you die for, I don't know, 50 deaths. Part of the
Okay,
reason it's
really?
okay to be a little evil is, well, because it's fun, and two, because we are going to counterbalance it by being a little kind. Unwritten Rule 17 is to always say GG at the end of every match.
Yeah.
It's just good sportsmanship, and I know we can all forget from time to time, especially after a crushing defeat, but it's important to do your best to remember. If you forget, you're destined to not have a good game.
Yeah, every time I win, I say GG's. Uh, and then every time I lose, about 50% of the time that I lose, I say GG's, and then the other 50%, I just exit the game.
Next game. Unwritten Rule 18 also happens to be about communication. Make good callouts, and I really want to emphasize good here. Don't just make random callouts or inaccurate ones. Don't say Cass is 1 if he's half health. Don't call out every single time Tracer uses a blink. Try to keep your callouts relevant, impactful, and most importantly, accurate. If you don't make comms at all, that's a Class A misdemeanor, and you'll get a terrible Widow 1 trick in your next game. If you make bad or useless callouts, that's a Class C misdemeanor, and you'll
Well, I mean, it's hard when you don't really play with friends. You play with random people, and also when you don't really have a mic. Like, I don't use mic. I don't talk to these random Overwatch players, so I can't really make callouts like that. I do use my ping button though, and I do ping and stuff. So I do try and communicate that way. And if I have time to like write a quick message, then I'll do that as well. But yeah, I don't talk to these people. Like I don't talk to my teammates or anything through voice chat. So
you'll
I don't
get a
know.
soundboard spammer in your next game. Unwritten Rule 19 is that if you see a cheater, you have to spectate them, and you have to do it like, I don't know, like 78 times or something like that. No hate to the Brother Flats though, game is game and they're fun to watch. If you don't spectate a shooter when you see one and report them, you'll be forced to spectate bronze players, I don't know, like 113 times or something like that. Okay, this one is about respect. When we're all chilling in the spawn room, waiting for the round to start, and I put my spray on the wall, do not put yours over mine. I will do the
Yes.
same to you, okay? There's only one exception to this rule, and that's if it would be funny. Now that sounds pretty subjective, but I think we can all clearly tell the difference between this and this. If you break this rule, some little gremlin creature will come into your house.
Yes. Oh my gosh, bro. Bro, this is probably one of the most important unwritten rules in Overwatch. And bro, it's been done to me so many times. I put a spray on the wall, somebody covers it up. I put my spray somewhere else, the person covers it up. Like, oh my gosh, bro. Like, it's so annoying. I hate that so much. I would go as far as to even move my spray to like the corner of like the window or whatever. That way other people are able to put their spray if they want to. Like that's how good of a guy I am. But then there's these other people that just choose to troll and put their spray on top of mine, and it's so annoying. And then I'm petty enough to just keep doing it until they stop. So then I'm the last one that leaves the spawn.
And derank you in 10
Ridiculous.
games. I swear I didn't mean to contradict myself, and we were just talking about respect, but Unwritten Rule 21 is all about disrespect. You have to teabag your teammates if they get slept. It's a must. If you break this
No,
rule, you'll get slept next. It's been a few
I
rules
don't
since
agree
we've
with
actually
that.
talked about anything important to gameplay, so Unwritten Rule 23 is to always keep someone on the payload. Now, who that should be is a little more nebulous in
Yeah.
Overwatch 2. In Overwatch 1, it was always one of the supports. In Overwatch 2, you'd often rather it be a DPS on cart. No matter what though, it shouldn't be the tank. I see whole teams abandon the cart or even the point all the time. Anyway, keep someone on the cart, and if you don't, I sent you to 50 getting ran overs by cars on Oasis. I said
Crazy.
keep one person on the payload.
Yeah.
Unwritten Rule 23 is don't have everyone on the payload. It doesn't go faster with any more than 3 people on it. Most often, you want to take space instead of moving the payload faster anyway,
I
but
agree.
it is situational, of course. Even if you want to keep 3 people on the payload, the tank shouldn't be one of them. This is one of those things that drives me crazy, but I'll try to keep my personal feelings out of this. Keeping more people on than necessary is probably less bad than not having anyone on it at all, so only 40 getting ran overs for this one. I understand that some of us don't have the most ideal place to play video games in. A dog might be barking, your mom might be yelling at you to get a job in the background, you might require a box fan pointed directly into your microphone at all
Lamau.
times. Look, I get it. But that doesn't mean you need to leave your mic open 24/7. Don't hot mic. Also, while we're on the topic, don't use a soundboard or blast music or use a voice changer.
Yeah, I don't use my mic anyway, so these don't really apply to me. Yeah, I don't talk to these players, bro.
That's just hella cringe, and you just get insta-muted by everyone anyway. People who use soundboards deserve IRL jail time. This one is just a
For
rite of
real.
passage. If you don't do this, you're not a real Overwatch player. Everyone knows that unwritten rule number 25 is that every new hero is your new main, before you inevitably fall off like a week later. It only makes sense.
True.
Everyone is excited to try the new hero. If you don't try the new hero for a week, no punishment needed. You're just punishing yourself by missing it.
Bro, I've played Juno. Juno is actually one of my support mains now. After playing her for like a week, she's become one of my support mains. She basically took Ilari's place because I used to play Ilari quite a bit. Even after she came out, and even weeks during that season that she came out, I was still maining Ilari. Even I believe the following season, Ilari was still in my main spot. But I believe I kind of switched her with Ana because I started playing Ana more, and yeah, and then I kind of added Juno to my roster now of supports that I play because now I only play Juno, Ana, Mercy, and Kiri. So yeah, Juno. I love Juno. I love playing with Juno.
Out on a fun new experience. Unwritten Rule 17 was to type GG at the end of every match, and Unwritten Rule 26 is 17's more evil twin. No, not that 17. Rule 26 is that you have to type GG easy at the end of a match if it was a stop or if it was the closest, most difficult game of Overwatch you've ever played. No in-betweens. If you don't, you're
What?
doomed to get rolled in your next 3 comp games. Is it just me, or has Overwatch become a more lonely
Bro,
place?
bro, this guy just he keeps on wishing us bad luck, bro. Like, what is this? Like, bro, what?
At least on PC, it feels like a lot of the player base has forgotten Unwritten Rule 27, which is to always at least be in voice. You don't have to talk, but it would be cool if you did. It seems like no one really
Nah.
does anymore, but if they do, you want to at least be able to hear their callouts. If you don't join voice, I sentence you to being forever alone. And that's
Bro, are you serious? Like, I haven't done anything to you, and you're sentencing me to be alone? Joke's on you! I'm already alone! Yeah, I don't know. I don't like using chat. I don't really like talking to random people like that, so I'm gonna have to ignore this unwritten rule.
sad, bud. You don't want to be that. Join voice. This unwritten rule
Too
doesn't just
bad.
apply to Overwatch, it applies to any multiplayer game. I know it might be 4 a.m. and you have work at 8. I know you might be on a 15 loss streak and you don't want to go back to silver, but unwritten rule 28 is that you can't end a session on a loss. Your next game might be the
True.
start of a legendary win streak, and
Bro, when I play, I try to end on a win, but sometimes I just can't. I just keep losing. So then I just kind of stop playing. Because there comes to a point where it's inevitable. You're just gonna keep losing. So I might as well just stop now, and then play again next time, I guess.
you're really gonna pass that up for some sleep? That's chump behavior, okay? Lock in, catch a dub, and if you don't, the next time you play, the loss streak will continue. Unwritten Rule 29 isn't just a rule for Overwatch, it's not just a rule for this channel, it's a rule for my real life. Unwritten Rule 29 is that you need to be positive. You must be for things and
Yeah.
not against them. You must protect your mentality at all cost. For peace, not against war. You beget what you think about most. To be for something is to cause yourself to find it in every waking moment. Misery loves company. Don't be company. And that's some real life advice right there. If you break this rule, you'll punish yourself. No sentencing required by me. Okay, that last one probably got a little too real for a silly Overwatch video, so let's lighten the mood. Rule 30 is to talk about politics as much as possible in voice and match chat. Always try to debate your teammates and try to do it in the most obnoxious and arrogant way possible. Everyone loves when you bring politics into things that have nothing to do with them. And if you break this rule, your next family dinner will be ruined by, enhanced by politics. This unwritten rule is pretty specific, but that doesn't mean it's not true. Unwritten Rule 31 is that if you're playing Junkrat, you have to put a trap in mine outside the attacker's spawn door. The Junkrat mains already know this, but for the Junkrat
Yeah.
part-timers, this is something you have to be aware of. If
I
you
already
break this
do
rule,
that.
the next 10 Junkrat tires are coming straight for you, and only you. Rule 32 is
Yeah, I
a
already do
simple
that.
but effective rule that everyone should follow. If you're going negative, swap heroes. Something is obviously not working, and if it's not working, change something. Now, you might be on the right pick, but just need to adapt your playstyle, but that can be a lot harder than just swapping your hero. If you're going negative in Overwatch, something is seriously wrong about whatever you're doing. If you don't swap and continue to run it down, you'll get a feeding Doomfist who refuses to swap in your next game. Destroying the spawn room is an essential part of the Overwatch experience, and could probably be a rule all on its own.
I don't
However,
really do that.
Unwritten Rule 33 touches on a more specific part of this topic. You always have to break the motorcycle in the attacker spawn on Junkertown. If you
Oh
don't,
yeah,
the enemy
that
team will have a
that
wheel record.
definitely.
Yeah, We all know what this one is. We're just gonna skip this one, okay? Somehow, Unwritten Rule 35 is controversial, but to me, it feels like a no-brainer. Do your best and take the game seriously. Overwatch is a competitive game where you work together with other players to try and achieve a goal. If someone isn't doing their best, it brings down the experience for everyone involved, not just for your teammates, but also the enemy team. What might have been a competitive and fun match is replaced by a lame experience where one side gets rolled because some loser thought it would be fun to try and only win the game with his Torb hammer. That doesn't mean you can't have fun, but your fun shouldn't come at the expense of the other 9 people in the lobby. If you want to get in a 5-stack and goof around like that, go for it. Then it's really not that bad. The enemy team gets a quick empty victory and they can move on to their next game, but if you troll with randos, you deserve to catch a ban. This is another
True.
one where Blizzard will do all of the punishing for me. This one isn't just a rule, it isn't just a law, it's a commandment. Unwritten Rule 36 is to never, and I mean never, play Widowmaker. Just don't do it. She's evil and should not be in the game. I'd take 100 games of back-to-back Sombra.
No. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
She's evil and should not be in the game.
No. This is the worst take I've ever heard in my life. I'm also a Widow main. Yeah, I know. I main Widow, Sombra, and Mei. Triple threat. Yeah, I cannot disagree with this more. I love Widow. I actually, when I first started playing Overwatch, I actually played Widow for 200 hours. I played Widow for 200 hours before I even touched any other DPS. Can you believe that? She was the only hero that I played for the first 2 months of Overwatch. Only hero that I played. So, yeah. I believe I have. I believe I have. I don't know how many hours I have on Widow at this point, but it's pretty. I have a lot of hours on Widow, but yeah, I disagree with this take. Awful
I'd
take.
take 100 games
Terrible
of
take.
back-to-back Sombras, then get 1 game against the Widow. If you break this
Nah, I play the Widow and I play the Sombra. What now?
rule, I sentence you to 40 to life in a maximum security prison. So, when you get enough points to buy a golden gun, the first time is easy. Obviously, you get it for your main. The second time is pretty easy too. You probably have a main in another role or a secondary character you already had in mind. But as you get farther and farther away from your first choice, it gets harder and harder to choose. At some point, you're gonna fall victim to Rule 37, which is that you have to waste your competitive points on one useless gun skin. Go ahead and buy that golden Torb skin. You've earned it. If you don't buy a useless gun skin, you'll be doomed to not have enough comp points to buy a skin when you really want it. Like they're gonna come out with diamond skins or something, and then you won't have enough. When it comes to skins, some characters definitely get more than others. Kiriko is definitely one of those heroes.
Yeah,
and
most
if you're not a
definitely.
Kiri main, you may not understand this, but Unwritten Rule 38 is that if you like Kiri, you have to buy every Kiri skin. And Kiri gets so many skins, it perfectly explains why her mains are disproportionately in debt. See, you can see it perfectly represented in this chart. I definitely didn't just
Lamau. Yeah, I'm a Kiri main. Now, granted, I'm not one of those that buys every skin. I have bought like 3 though. No, I think I bought like 2. I'd say like 2, probably like 2 or 3, something like that. I couldn't get the Uravity skin, the Ochako skin. You know, the My Hero Academia collab. I couldn't. Uh, not Ochako. That's for Juno. I'm tripping. I mean the Toga. That one, the Toga. I couldn't get the Toga skin. I also couldn't get the Uravity, the Juno one. I couldn't get that one either because I'm broke. So unfortunately, but when they come back, I'm definitely buying the Toga one and the Uravity one.
make up. If you're a Kiriko main and break this rule, you'll be shunned from the Kiriko Mafia, cast out into the cold, all alone. Tragic. Junkrat has to put his trap and mine outside the spawn doors. And Rule 39 is that you have to do the same thing with your sim turrets. These don't quite have the same lethal potential that the trap mine combo does, but you have to do it anyway. Now, they will get destroyed immediately and won't be useful at all, but them's the rules. I mean, I guess you might get like 5% ult charge, and, you know, that's not nothing, so. If you don't put your turrets outside the spawn, in your next 10 games, no one will take your telly. That's not that bad of a punishment. Depending on the rank you're in, people probably aren't taking the telly anyway. I try pretty hard not to anger the Mercy Mafia, but I've been inside, I've seen the Matrix, the inner workings, and I know this is one of their unwritten rules. Unwritten Rule 40 is that you gotta gatekeep the Mercy skins. If it came out 5 years ago, you have to advocate for it never coming back and start a black market where you can sell accounts with those retired skins. If you don't gatekeep the Mercy skins, your Mercy Mafia card will be revoked. Listen, if you don't believe me, trust. I've got connects. I can make it happen. Unwritten Rule 41 is that if you lose count 'em, one duel against the enemy Widowmaker, you gotta swap to Sombra. No honor among thieves. It's only the right thing to do for your team and your ego. If you don't swap and keep getting clapped, I send it to you to 25 insta-deaths from a wood-up headshot right outside the spawn.
Yeah, I've had my fair share of Widow 1v1s. I would say I'm pretty 50-50. I win 50 of them, 50% of them, and I lose 50% of them. And yes, I do switch to Sombra. So, which is kind of in part why I main Sombra is because of the Widows.
Okay, this next one is personal. For the love of God, please, I'm begging you, like pretty please, like pretty please with a cherry on top. Please don't shoot my Zarya bubble. Please, please don't do it. Yeah, Rule 42 is that. And if you do,
Yeah.
I definitely won't laser you to death. Like that definitely won't be your punishment. I would literally never do that. Okay, I would never do that. Unwritten Rule 34 is that if you're playing Lucio, you gotta go for some crazy insane rollout to try and boot the enemy team off the map. It's just part of playing the character, and that's why it's a rule.
Yeah,
If you don't
I
go
don't
for these, your next 57
play
boots will fail.
Lucio.
This one is
I don't play
genuinely
Lucio
evil,
either.
like for real. I know I've made a lot of jokes in this video, but I am 100% serious when I say this. If you follow this rule, which I know all of you do, you are a terrible person. Unwritten Rule 44 is that Sombra players have to hack the tank off cooldown. This is made so much easier by a rework too. Now you can frontline and hack the tank over and over again. Isn't that just awesome? If you break this rule, you actually don't get punished. Instead, you
True.
get 10 free ice creams. Oh my god, yes, let's go. Another rule about basic decency and respect, if your teammates say hi, make sure you say hello back. It's
Yeah.
just the right thing to do. And if
Have
you fail to
to.
say hi
Every
back,
single
then I
time.
hereby sentence you to 25% more likely to lose that game. You're messing up the team synergy. And there you have it, the final unwritten rule of Overwatch. Let us know if there's any we missed in the comments below. If you'd like to learn
okay.
about the worst seasons in Overwatch's history, check out this video here. And until next time, I'll see you in game.
Well, that was a nice video. Unwritten rules. I did know a lot of these, and there were actually a few that I actually didn't know. So, and others that I didn't really agree with, or that I'm probably not even gonna do. Like that one pizza one. It's confusing. But anyways, hey, shout out to this guy, the watch over, and yeah, shout out to him. Subscribe to him. And yeah, that's gonna be it for this video. Put it down below. What video should I react to next? And I'll see y'all in the next one. Peace.